had this slide up. Do you notice whose face is right here?
Oh, you've had this up
Do
for
you
2 years?
notice who's, I've had this for about a year and a half, this slide.
Oh my gosh. You know what? We didn't talk about this ahead of time. I did not know she was on there, but she sure is. Queen Elizabeth.
Because that's the harlot. See the world system, the back of the US dollar, flip it over, there's a pyramid, okay? It's a pyramid, and this, as you step higher into the pyramid, you get to the very top, the all-seeing eye. Basically, the top of the pyramid, this is their satanic system. And the top of the eye was who? The queen, the harlot. The harlot is what's written in Revelation 17. So let's read this. And I saw a woman, which is a harlot, sitting on a scarlet beast. Greg, what are they controlling in our world right now? Okay, they control 7 things: the church, the family, the education system, the government, entertainment, media, and how do they do it all? With the money. With the money, Greg, the 7 things. So I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads. So the 7 heads of the 7 hills, that's described beautifully by Lance Wallnau. He talks about this. But the point is, this is how they've captured everything, Greg. The whole world we know is captured and controlled. They control everything. They did it to the money system to control all the hills. And the top of the pyramid was the queen.
And those are the gates of hell. And the gates of hell shall not prevail against.
Correct. So the queen represents the gate to hell. So the queen was the top of the pyramid. She was the top. And so below the pyramid is the people, right? The people that run the system. They're all good. It's the top. It's the gate to hell shall not prevail. We've talked about this in prior interviews.
Gates.
So guess what? Their gate just went down. Their gate went down. And this was written, this is prophecy, Revelation 17 was just fulfilled. And the 10 horns, which are the kings that are running this world, the 10 powerful kings of the earth, and they and the beast will hate the harlot, the prostitute. They will hate her. They will make her desolate and naked and devour her flesh and burn her up with fire. For God has put into their hearts to carry out his purpose. We have just seen the beginning of the fall of the harlot.
And this is not America. America's not Babylon. In your words, America's not Babylon. America's not the harlot. America is not that. The Babylon is the system.
That is correct, 100% correct. Babylon is a control system set up around the world. So it's a control mechanisms from the Vatican to Washington to China to Russia. It's all around the world. It's a control mechanism where they control humanity. And this prophecy of Babylon goes back 2,500 years. This is how you know God is God, okay? God gave Daniel the Daniel 2 prophecy, which was the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, okay? And we've talked about this before, but in a nutshell, that's a 2,500-year-old prophecy that was given. It was a dream that was interpreted by Daniel, given to King Nebuchadnezzar, the king of the world. And when Daniel interpreted that dream, Daniel, within 24 hours, became the second in command of all of Babylon, meaning all of the world. A Jew. Okay, and so the point being is that prophecy has stood the test of time. We're going to talk about that prophecy because that's one of the things that's about to be fulfilled. But that prophecy talked about Babylon, Germany. It talked about the Greece. It talked about all the kingdoms that have existed today, the Rome and the papacy. Everything's existed. What hasn't not been fulfilled in that prophecy is Daniel 2, verse 34. Again, we're going to talk about scriptures today, so I am not making this up. I'm taking the timelines and the events going on now, and we're going to take scriptures and have people understand the importance of Revelation and why God wrote Revelation, so we can understand what is happening. So let's continue on to our presentation. So we are about to see the events of Leviticus 25, verse 10. And it states, "And you shall consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land and to all of its inhabitants." Greg, I've been on your show a couple times, I believe, this year, and we've talked about the year of Jubilee. And you're correct. The Rosh Hashanah is day 1, and that day fluctuates every year. So it's always a different day. This year, it's September 25, okay? Last year, there was a 50th year. It began on September 6, 2021, and the year of Jubilee ends on September 24th this month, so in about 2 weeks. Everybody, please take a piece of pen and paper and write down the date, September 24th. This is going to be an incredibly important time point for our world because it's the last day of the 50th year. And Leviticus says very clearly, you shall consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land and to all of its inhabitants. We know through scriptures that God's word does not come back void. So if we're in the 50th year, that means that something biblical, huge, crazy, a miracle is supposed to happen on or before the date of September 24th, because the day after is September 25 and year 51 begins. So that's all I can say. Now, why is it the 50th year? Well, we've talked about this. Roe v. Wade.
You predicted this.
Well, Roe v. Wade, yes. But Roe v. Wade was also first argued in Supreme Court in December 13th of 1971. Okay, so add 50 years. That takes us to December 13th of 2021. So we're in the 50th year for Rosh Hashanah, for the 50-year Jubilee as written in Leviticus. Now, a good friend of mine, I got to give her credit on this, Lois Vogel-Sharp, before Roe v. Wade was overturned, God actually gave her a prophecy saying that Roe v. Wade is about to be overturned. And we need to, again, write this down because he gave Lois two scriptures. He gave her Haggai 1 and Haggai 2. So let's talk about these in this presentation. But next slide is Haggai 1. And it states on the 24th day of the 6th month of the 2nd year of Darius. Greg, that just happened to be by coincidence, because there are no coincidences in the Bible, okay? That day was the day Roe v. Wade was overturned.
24th of June.
24th of June. That was
announced. It was announced.
Yeah, announced. And this date is written in Haggai 2,000 or 2,500 years ago, Greg. So Haggai wasn't talking about the Roe v. Wade being overturned 2,500 years ago. What he was talking about was something else. But the point being is God wrote the end from the beginning, just like he wrote Daniel 2 prophecy. He knew when he gave Haggai the prophecy of that date, he knew God knew he was going to use this date again. And he just did. We just saw it overturned. And now, this was our last interview we did. Look at the title of our last interview. I forget what it was, but it was something related to abortion is the essence of everything that's going on in our world, right? And that was the title of our last interview. And why was abortion so important? Because when we were killing God's creation, we were killing the Creator's creation, God wasn't with us. But now that we've overturned Roe v. Wade, God is with us.
Well, and we still have, abortion in the blue states.
Oh, so, no, Greg, and
at least it's not a federal America mandate, right?
And I will not disagree with you. I will fully agree with you on that. But this is the thing, right? As a nation,
yeah, we're not.
We have. See, this is so judgment is going to fall upon the states later on that stick with it. But as a nation, we have overturned Roe v. Wade. And because of that, as a nation, God is now with us. And Romans very clearly states, Romans 8, verse 31 states, if God is with us, who could be against us?
Right? New York is imploding. The stupidity of New York City and the whole, money is leaving New York. They're leaving, they're escaping. You're going to have all this awful things happening, and I don't wish this on people of New York. I used to live there. I like the very good people there. California with this idiot Governor Newsom is destroying the state, and we have buy an electric car. Oh, hey, we shut down the power grid. Hello.
That's pretty funny.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, these people think stupid things, and because I believe it, it's real. Men can have babies. Okay.
Everything.
Let's go on.
Everything is about to change. So yes, let's go on because it's so important to understand how this is all coming together. This is insane. So we have Roe v. Wade overturned 50 years ago. Nixon in August of 71 took us off the gold standard.
Yep.
And precisely, this is really important.
Look at what happened over here. I mean, look what happened to our buying power.
Yes, look, 71. Look what happened. Straight up. That's the money. That's the money supply, the money printing, the national debt.
Yay.
It went crazy. Okay. And so, how do you prop up the stock market? With this big fat red arrow.
Yes, and you know, people think
this is fraud, Greg. Money being created out of thin air.
It's counterfeiting.
And what happens at fraud, Greg? How does it end?
Frauds end quickly. That's what I learned at doing investigative reporting. Frauds end quickly. They end quickly.
That's right.
That's what I learned as an investigative reporter at 5 TV, well, 3 TV stations. I worked for 5, and 2 networks. Frauds end quickly.
That's exactly.
And you're saying that this is going to end quickly. You have the floor.
Absolutely. In 24 hours, again, I'm going to keep
not
repeating.
24 hours. Not 24 hours.
Everyone knows about the change.
Not 24 hours from now. It's only going to take a day.
Yes.
When it happens, it'll only be a day. You know, I got to tell you, I just want to insert this. And I have all these guests on. This is kind of like a consensus. And Bill Holter has said this: when it happens, it's going to happen fast. And credit's going to go whoop, poof, shut down, which is why you should have cash. Even though the dollar is destroyed, it'll be useful for weeks, months, I don't know. But it'll be useful to have cash. And that's why people, Catherine Austin Fitts says, you should be conducting business in cash whenever you can. And
correct.
So you're saying, go ahead. You have the floor.
Well, actually, that's why you should have your viewers, please write down Revelation 18, verse 8. And here's what it states. Her, meaning the harlot, plagues will come in a single day. The kings of the earth will weep and wail. This is what is coming, Greg. Revelation 18, verse 8 is about to be fulfilled this fall. It's going to be crazy what's about to happen.
Yeah. Well,
and so
good.
We can take it further. What else happened 50 years ago? Klaus Schwab founded the World Economic Forum. Okay?
Oh my gosh!
And then there you've got, there's a German engineer which is now being funded by billionaires, including Soros and Gates. So again, they're pushing a Luciferian agenda because we battle not against flesh and blood, but principalities of darkness, which are governments. Okay, funded by money created out of where, Greg? Thin air. Okay, money out of thin air. That's how they are building this evil empire.
I like